Welcome to London's Stansted Airport, London's third busiest airport and the fourth busiest throughout the whole of the UK. As a fast-growing international airport, we recognise our responsibility in maintaining the highest methods of safety standards. This is gained through effective leadership and teamwork, ensuring that everyone on our site is in safe hands. Watching this video is an important part of the induction process that you and everyone else who works at London's Stansted Airport is required to take part in to help us all achieve our safety targets. It will provide you with an overview of the key elements of our health, safety and environmental management systems, and also provide you with a signpost to access further information, documentation and, if required, additional support. Firstly, let's begin by introducing you to London's Stansted Airport and the unique environment that you will find yourself working in. London Stansted is owned by the Manchester Airports Group and employs over 1,300 staff. Over 182,000 aircraft from 41 airlines depart and land here each year and fly to over 150 destinations around the world, carrying a staggering 17 million passengers. London Stansted is also a major freight airport and is the third busiest in the UK, handling in excess of 214,000 tonnes of cargo each year, with future plans to expand even further. Here at London Stansted, we are making safety and security personal, and this forms an important part of our Vision Zero campaign, which is our commitment to eliminate the risk of serious harm. To tell you more about the strategy behind Vision Zero and our future communication plans, here is our Managing Director, Andrew Harrison.
Nobody comes to work to get hurt, and we've got 10,000 people working in our airport and millions more who come through every year. So our responsibility is to make sure we do everything we can to keep ourselves safe, the people we work with safe, and also the customers who are coming through our airport safe as well. Vision Zero is a programme which is designed to make sure we've got the right systems and processes in place, but equally the right culture that makes sure that we focus on causing zero harm to any of the people who work here or travel through our airport. We've got 17.5 million passengers using Stansted right now, and that's going to double over the next 10 to 15 years, making the airport ever more complex. Health and safety and minimising our impact on the environment are going to be critical to enable us to grow, and Vision Zero is the foundation that enables us to manage that, and as such, it's the bedrock for our future growth.
Understanding key responsibilities. So, let's be clear from the start. Health, safety, security and protecting the environment is everyone's responsibility. London Stansted Airport and its management is responsible for making the necessary assessments and implementing policies and procedures to ensure that everyone can work safely at all times. But you also play a key role in making safety personal. You and every other employee and contractor working at London Stansted have an equal responsibility to follow these procedures and to contribute to the development of a safe working environment. You'll be expected to comply with works instructions and standard operating procedures at all times. To help you with this, training will be provided and ongoing consultation on health, safety, security and environmental matters will be conducted in the workplace. So, let's now look at these procedures in more detail. Accidents, incidents and near misses. It is vitally important that you report any accident, incident or near miss that you witness. Only by identifying these can we take steps to help prevent future incidents from occurring, which could cause harm to you or the people around you. Don't just walk by or think that it's someone else's responsibility to report it. This includes reporting unattended items that you think may pose a security risk. Something that may seem trivial to you at the time may be the catalyst that could cause a serious incident later on. If you are in any doubt, please bring any concerns that you have to the attention of your supervisor immediately. You should use either the accident report form or the near miss and safety improvement card to report any incidents or accidents. This will help us to investigate the root cause of why something has happened and ultimately allow us to put safer controls and procedures in place to stop the same thing happening again. A near miss is identified as anything that could potentially lead to an incident where harm to people, property or the environment could occur. Here at London Stansted, near misses are classified in 3 categories, and these are near miss, safety observation, fault. A near miss could be something like a loose building panel falling, narrowly missing a person. A safety observation might be a member of staff being seen stepping over a tensor barrier unsafely. A fault may be a piece of metal strip missing from some rubber matting which could cause a potential trip hazard. Near-miss cards can also be used for safety improvement ideas, and after completion these can be posted at near-miss stations, which you will find located across the airport. Your supervisor will be able to tell you where your nearest reporting station is. More often than not, it's the people actually doing a specific task or role, like you, who are best situated to come up with new ideas to make their work area safer. Risk assessments, method statements, and SAP's system. As in any workplace, risks need to be assessed and managed to make sure that tasks are undertaken in the safest manner possible. And here at London Stansted Airport, it is no different. Depending on your role, you may be required to carry out such risk assessments and also create method statements. Any such documents that are created, together with their recommendations relating to any task you may carry out, must be followed. Always make sure that you use your work equipment safely and don't interfere with or misuse anything provided for the purpose of safety on our site. Every individual department will have identified its most significant risks, and these will be explained to you further during training for your specific role. Across London Stansted Airport as a whole, we have identified a number of areas of significant risk that will require you and everyone else to be aware of. These areas are whatever your role, you will from time to time have to handle or lift goods and equipment. Everyone will receive training in manual handling, relevant to their role or task, and you should use this training and its techniques shown to reduce the risk of sustaining an injury. This is one of the most common causes of injury here at London Stansted, but it is also one that could be so easily avoided. Please be aware of your surroundings as you move around the airport and always stick to designated walkways. An important discipline is good housekeeping, as this can be crucial in preventing the creation of trip hazards. So make sure that you keep your immediate work area tidy and clear from clutter. If you do come across a potential slip or trip hazard, especially a spillage, don't just leave it for someone else. Be responsible. If it is safe to do so, clean it up. Otherwise, mark it and report it. If necessary, stay with the spillage. Keep people away from it and wait until another member of staff arrives to clear it up. You could also come across some less obvious hazards working here at London Stansted. You may be required to have specific training before undertaking certain tasks that might expose you to a greater level of risk. For instance, these tasks could be working with radiation or radioactive sources, using and storing chemicals requiring compliance with COSH regulations, activating electrical equipment, specifically those that feature isolation systems. Remember, only authorised personnel should conduct electrical maintenance work, and a permit may be required to do this. Other tasks, such as working at height and entering confined spaces, are also subject to specific controls, such as limitation of access permits, LOAs, and permits to work. Fire safety. Fire is a risk everywhere on site and could be catastrophic for people, businesses and the functionality of the airport. It is very important that you are aware of the procedures regarding fire safety, including raising the alarm, fire evacuation routes and refuges, and also the location of fire extinguishers and your nearest fire assembly point. Mandatory annual fire evacuation training is given for all London Stansted workers. It is imperative that there are no obstructions to any escape routes, alarms or fire equipment. You must practice good housekeeping and prevent the build-up of waste or other items which may cause a fire. You can also help in keeping your workplace safe by making sure that all fire doors are kept closed and any faults or damage are reported immediately. Remember, fire spreads quickly and can kill. Don't take any chances or attempt to put out a fire if it is not safe or unless you've been trained to do so. Use the emergency number of 222 and move people away from the area as quickly and as safely as possible. If you require more information or are unsure about fire precautions in your workplace, ask. Fault reporting. Reporting a fault of any kind could lead to the prevention of an accident or a health and safety hazard. So, it is important that if you see a fault, report it promptly using the following procedure. Dial extension 3131 on the nearest internal telephone and make a note of the allocated fault number. This can assist in tracking faults that may take longer to rectify. If you use an external phone, dial 01279 663131. Remember, make safety and security personal and rectify a fault if you can, but only if it is safe to do so. PPE, personal protective equipment. No matter what your job or role at London Stansted Airport, there will almost certainly be a time when you'll be required to wear some type of PPE. Always make sure that you wear and use the correct PPE required for the specific task you are undertaking. If needed, there will be signage indicating the correct type of PPE to be worn in the area that you are working in, so please take note and react accordingly. It is your responsibility to make sure that any PPE that you are required to wear or use is in good condition, is fit for purpose and fits. It is very important that you report any defective or damaged PPE, no matter how slight, to keep you and anyone else who may need to use it safe and protected. At London Stansted Airport, we have specific site rules regarding contractors and their PPE. Another essential type of PPE that you sometimes may be required to wear at London Stansted is high visibility or HV clothing. This is particularly important when you are working airside or moving around vehicles, equipment or aircraft. Always make sure your high visibility PPE is worn fully fastened, is clean, in good condition and any reflective strips are undamaged. Please be aware that you may well be stopped from entering airside if your HV clothing is not appropriate or incorrectly worn. Getting around safely. By the very nature of its environment and the large amount of passengers passing through London's Stansted Airport, there are a unique range of transport and pedestrian hazards, some potentially lethal, from coaches and cars arriving to escalators and aircraft movement. Getting around the airport safely is of paramount importance. Keeping to any dedicated vehicle or pedestrian routes is imperative to your safety. Where there is no dedicated route, you must take extreme care and be extra vigilant. Distractions such as listening to your iPod or using your mobile phone could easily result in you not paying enough attention to the dangers around you. So, please be aware at all times. Driving, other than in dedicated car park areas, is strictly controlled. To drive on the London Stansted Airport site, you must be specifically licensed for the area that you're driving in. Training may also be required for the areas that you may be expected to drive in. Whether you are directly employed by London Stansted or by a third party, you may be required to use London Stansted Airport assets, such as a tug charging station, fixed electrical ground power units and air bridges. Make sure that you have been authorised and fully trained before using any such equipment, and make sure that you report any faults immediately. Transiting through passenger areas. Your role at London Stansted Airport may mean that you deal with customers on a regular basis, or possibly not at all. However, at some stage during your working day, you may be required to move through passenger areas. Be aware that for many people, air travel can be a stressful experience. They may be anxious, struggling with luggage, dealing with fractious children, or be confused as to where they are supposed to be going within the airport. Your clothing will identify you as a member of airport staff, and there is a strong possibility that you may be asked for assistance by passengers. We will expect you to provide that assistance if required, even if it means finding a more qualified member of staff to help you. Please also be aware that because some people may be under stress, they could become rude or, in extreme cases, violent. Don't panic. You will receive training on how to deal with such situations. Remember that you are protected by both airport bylaws and the London Stansted Airport Community Charter, which makes clear that drunkenness, insulting words or behaviour, abusive language and threats of actual violence will not be tolerated. Be assured that police assistance is available at all times via the 222 emergency procedure. You can also use this procedure if you witness suspicious behaviour or see an unattended item that you think may represent a security risk. Remember, we need to make safety and security personal. Occupational health and well-being. Here at London Stansted Airport, we have comprehensive policies and procedures in place to safeguard the health and well-being of our employees. Once again, this is a two-way responsibility. You, together with all other employees and contractors, are required to notify your employer of any medical conditions or medication that you may be taking that could affect your working in a safe manner. In turn, the airport provides an extensive occupational health facility to conduct routine health monitoring checks and provide information on further services that may be available to all Manchester Airports Group employees. Use of any non-prescribed drugs or alcohol at work will be dealt with in the appropriate manner and may well lead to disciplinary action. If you need further support and guidance on alcohol or drug issues, confidential advice can be given by the occupational health team and your supervisor. Protecting the environment. Protecting the environment is a crucial part of our operation of London Stansted Airport. We all have both a moral and legal obligation to minimise our impact on and protect the physical environment by our policies on noise, waste recycling, energy consumption, water pollution and emissions control. Everyone has a part to play in this, starting with how, as individuals, we can all reduce our energy use and recycle as much waste as we possibly can. Here at London Stansted, we recycle over 60% of our waste every year, and we utilise a biomass boiler to further reduce emissions and save energy. Around the airport site are a number of natural habitats, protected species and a site of specific scientific interest located in East End Wood. Protecting these areas and the wildlife living in them is vital in demonstrating to the wider local communities and stakeholders that we are taking our responsibilities seriously. Certain activities and equipment operating within the airport present a higher risk of potential land and water contamination, such as a chemical or oil spillage. Strict procedures are in place regarding the handling, disposal and the management of spillages, and these must be adhered to at all times. Well, there you have it. An overview of the key elements of London Stansted Airport's health, safety and environmental management systems and procedures. So, let's just remind ourselves once again of some of the key points covered in this presentation. Understanding key responsibilities. Remember, health, safety, security and protecting the environment is our joint responsibility. Accidents, incidents and near misses. It is imperative that you report all accidents, incidents or near misses. Risk assessments, method statements and SAPS system. Risks need to be assessed and managed, so, depending on your role, you may be required to carry out risk assessments and create method statements. Fire safety. Remember, fire spreads quickly and can kill, so be familiar with the procedures regarding fire safety, including raising the alarm, fire evacuation routes, the location of fire extinguishers and your nearest fire assembly point. Fault reporting. Reporting a fault of any kind could lead to the prevention of an accident or health and safety hazard, so it's important that if you see a fault, report it promptly. PPE, personal protective equipment. Be aware of and use the correct PPE required for the specific task you are undertaking and make sure it is in good condition, is fit for purpose and fits. Getting around safely. Getting around the airport safely is of paramount importance, and keeping to any dedicated vehicular or pedestrian routes is imperative to your safety. Transiting through passenger areas. You will be identified by your clothing as a member of airport staff, and there is a strong possibility that you may be asked for assistance by passengers. So, remember, you will be expected to provide that assistance. Occupational health and well-being. London Stansted Airport has comprehensive policies and procedures in place to safeguard the health and well-being of its employees. But be aware that the use of non-prescribed drugs or alcohol at work will be dealt with in the appropriate manner. Protecting the environment. Protecting the environment is a crucial part of our operation at London Stansted Airport, and we all have a moral and legal obligation to protect the environment and to minimise our impact on noise, waste and emissions.
Well, you've seen the video, but this can't be just one of those videos that you watch and you don't do anything about it. I'm passionate to make sure that our people don't get hurt whilst they're at work, and I'm sure that you are too. That's all of our responsibilities, and I'm asking you to play your part.
you.